Have you ever wondered what the difference between the Camaros and the Mustang are? Today we're going to be talking about that, the evolution of the Camaro over the years, and pros and cons of getting a Camaro. So the Mustang came out in April 1964. To compete with the Mustang, the Camaro came out in September of 1966. The Mustang and Camaro have been competing against each other on the track, the drag strips, and the street for years. And this is part of the reason why these cars are so popular. They also created it to be cheaper than the Mustang, so people would be more willing to buy that one instead. Its original name was actually going to be the Panther up until a couple weeks before the production day. There's rumors that Camaro means a disease that eats Mustangs or a vicious animal that eats horses. So the first ever Camaro was rushed to be completed just to compete with the Mustang. It came out in September of 1966. It was $2,466, and the average annual income around that time was $7,000. It had 140 horsepower and was a V8. In 1967, Chevy came out with a convertible. Some of the convertibles had a button called the V75 button that would put liquid onto the tires to help with snow and ice. Only 200 cars had this option though. Then there is the pace car. So the pace car would go out in front of the Indianapolis 500 Motor Speedway races to lead the cars off for the races. Then they also came out with the Camaro race car. This race car won 10 out of 13 races that year. Now we're going to talk about the different kinds of generations of cars. So the second generation was actually based on the Ferrari. Pictured on the right is the Ferrari compared to the Camaro. And then the third generation car, it took 8.6 seconds for it to go 60 miles per hour, and it had 225 horsepower. And then the fourth generation Camaro was a 6-speed manual transmission, and it could go a fourth of a mile in 14 seconds. And then the fifth generation Camaro could go from 0 to 60 in 14 seconds. And now to the current Camaro. This is a 2019 Camaro. They have a lot of different features for technology-wise. They have 4 different driving modes. So there's snow mode, tour mode, sport mode, or track mode. And it makes your car drive differently on these different modes. And then there's also a launch control. So this makes the front tires stop and the back tire spin, and you can manually control it to get the best acceleration possible to take off. And there's also a data collection option, and this can videotape your drive so you can use it to improve your driving. And another big part of making cars go fast is the weight of it. So for this Camaro in specific, they want to decrease the weight. So they got thinner glass on the windows, there's less insulation all around, and they decreased the rear seat padding. And this altogether decreased the weight by 200 pounds. And then Dubai was actually the first country to have Camaros as police cars. And then there's the station wagon Camaro. This is perfect for growing families since the Camaro tends to be kind of smaller. This one's a bigger option. And then there's also the Central Office Production Order Camaro. So this Camaro is used only for track, for drag races. And to even buy this kind of Camaro, you have to win the lottery. and then you can buy it. Or you have to have connections. Most Camaros take 20 hours to build on assembly lines, but this one takes 10 days to build. And it sells for $110,000. That's on the cheap end if you get it directly from Chevy. So next we'll go through the pros and cons of getting a Camaro. So the pros is the style of it. It's a sports car. It is relatively cheap for a sports car, and it is up to date on different kinds of technology. Some of the cons are winter driving, it's not the best, and depending on family lifestyle and family size, the Camaro is kind of small. And then there's a couple points that could be either good or bad. So it draws attention to you, so that can be a good or bad thing, and it also makes you want to drive fast. So in conclusion, the Camaro came out to compete with the Mustang. It's evolved over the years, and there's pros and cons to buying it.